Of all the prophets, there are two that mankind, in their misconception and illusion and desire to push falsehood, will consistently fight to hold that these are not of dark skin complexion, and they are Jesus and Muhammad. We have to understand mainstream Christianity and mainstream Islam when we talk in regards to this reference. According to Revelation, Jesus' feet of burnt brass and hair of wool. Book of Bukhari, Ibn Umar describes Jesus as Adam. In fact, Ibn Umar says, I swear by Allah, Muhammad did not tell us that Jesus was red. I said the Dajjal is red, but Jesus is dark skinned. He clearly says Jesus was dark skinned. Jesus was the complexion of Adam. A famous Islamic scholar, Al-Jahiz, in his book, which was written over 1,000 years ago, The Glory of the Black Over the Whites, clearly expresses that the family of the Prophet were all black. Al-Tabari, another famous Islamic scholar, Ali, the cousin of Prophet Muhammad, is described as having a pot belly and dark skin and a broad nose. What I find interesting, that even in the movie of the life of Muhammad, there is no description of Muhammad. You only hear his voice. You know, they don't want to depict his description because he's holding doubt, is how they've made it to be, or that he's not to be seen as no color, as if he didn't walk the earth as a human being. You know, it's like this hiding of complexion, or the hiding of the physical countenance or appearance of Muhammad is what they're pushing to try to keep people from actually seeing the true description of the Prophet Muhammad. A magnificent quote we found in Al-Jahiz's book, which depicts the description of the Prophet's family. And they say, Abdul al-Muttalib fathered 10 lords, black as a night and magnificent. Amar ibn Atufal saw them circling the Kaaba as if they were handsome jinns, and he said, with these, the gatekeeper of the Kaaba is useless. Abdul Allah ibn Abbas was the blackest in magnificence, and the family of Abu Talib were the most noble of men, and they were black, with black skin. We know that hadith in the book of Bukhari, narrated by Ibn Ishaq, where Al-Bara was asked, was the face of the Prophet as bright as a sword? He said no, it was as bright as the moon. Anyone who reads that hadith with a sense of spirituality knows that that hadith isn't referring to Muhammad's physical complexion. You know, though they use it in their mortal way of thinking and their suppressive mind to suppress, of course, the darker skinned people and mankind, of course, that Muhammad was pale. He was that pale, he looked like the moon. Some also use a reference similar to Abu Ishaq, where he talks about the moon, and he's referring to a black woman, but because of her beautiful countenance. This can be found in the Song of Solomon, where he says, who is she that looketh forth as the morning, fair as the moon, clear as the sun, and tremble as an army with banners? He compares to the morning, you know, to the brightness, the bright awakening, you know, her fairness as the moon. You know, that's how it counts, her beauty. You know, she's magnificent to look at. You know, we're talking about, you know, as the sun in a clear sky. You know, even in regards to the moon, we look at the moon, the beauty of the moon at night. When the moon shines in its beauty at night, you know, it's just there in a clear. This is talking about the countess of this individual. You know, this kind of this black woman, this Shumite woman. So it's kind of unrealistic to us to look at Muhammad in the aspect that, you know, this sword, no, he's as bright as the moon. You know, he's not as bright as a sword. You know, we know the sword has a glow to it, a shine to it. You know, especially if someone's being polished, it has a shine to it. But we're talking about, this is like a skimming out blemish. You know, we're looking at here the brightness of the moon. You know, we're talking about his magnificent beauty. That's what we're talking about, how beautiful he looked. It has nothing to do with his complexion being white. This is a fabrication of truth, and this type of illusion and the way people think needs to be, you know, this type of insecurity, spiritual insecurity, is what is keeping the world in a suppressive mode and a discomfort because of lack of understanding and false teachings. There's also a hadith in the book of Bukhari narrated by Ansar, where it states Muhammad was neither very dark, nor was he white. It didn't say he was neither was he light skinned or dark skinned or light skinned and white. It says neither was he very dark, nor was he white. Very interesting quote. Neither was he very dark, nor was he white. So he wasn't deep brown, nor was he white. That's very interesting because in mainstream Islam, they will push a pale-skinned Muhammad. But yet the hadith says he was neither very dark nor white. So he definitely wasn't white. Al-Tabari also describes Zayd bin Haritha, who is the adopted stepson of the Prophet Muhammad and the only Sarharba to be mentioned in the Quran itself. It clearly says that Zayd bin Haritha was a black man. He was dark skinned. The importance of understanding the scriptures from an African perspective is of importance to all mankind. I mean, white, black, and Chinese, it's universal. One has to truly understand and accept truth within their heart of what the scripture is saying.